doing own voiceover soft music. Jungkook was a man without any mercy as he is taking out all his anger, frustration, sadness, the pain of being getting betrayed by the person whom he loved more than his life on the man who was already, but Jungkook didn't give up. He was as if the man is his bag. But soon he stopped when he heard his phone ringing, and he took his phone from his pocket and looked at the phone screen, only for his red eyes to turn more red and his grip around the phone tighten as if he is the person who is calling him. But then he controlled his anger and thought to pick up the call. Cook, I'm sorry. Actually, I went to store to buy things and in hurry I forget my phone at house. That's why I didn't pick your call, she directly said, and Jungkook greeted his state to control himself after thinking that she is lying. Cook, say something. Are you mad at me? I'm sorry, Cook. Jungkook's heart melted and he closed his eyes, but some unwanted memories flashed in his mind, so he opened his eyes. I'm busy, he simply said and cut the call and then put his phone back in his pocket and again turned around and gave a heart to the man. How dare she do it with me? He said while continuing the man. Wine's face got sad after Jungkook cut the call without even waiting for her reply, and I think he is mad at me. Who won't when he called 10 times? I should have taken my phone with me. Now what to do? She asked herself with sad mood, but then her attention went to her bedroom door which got opened. Only she saw her sister who came from States yesterday. When did you came back from stores? You should have called me. I just came back and I came to your room but you were showering. Oh, come, let's start cooking. It's almost lunchtime. Yeah, saying this, they both walked towards the kitchen. Jungkook was still the man who was already, but still Jungkook's anger didn't calm down. But then he paused when he heard Sir. Jungkook turned around and saw his secretary, and Jungkook's stare was enough for Mark to understand his boss. So we got a business collaboration project with Mr. Lee of Lee Industries. So what should we do? He said, but the name Mr. Lee and Lee Industry reminded Jungkook of his so-called girlfriend. So Jungkook Shrimp, arrange a meeting with him right now. Yes, sir. Clean this, he said and walked out of the basement, and Mark looked at the man and signed. Jungkook looked at the mirror after cleaning himself, and now Jungkook's anger calmed down a bit as he was thinking of some better plan to get his revenge. Levine, I will let you know with whom you played. His eyes were dark, but there was tears too in his eyes, and soon a drop of tears fall from his each eyes, which he didn't notice because he was too focused on his plan. Wine was playing with her food as she wasn't feeling like eating because her mind was full of Jungkook. Was he avoiding me? Hey, come on, Wine. Cook will never avoid you. But he said he is busy. He never said to me he is busy. Rather, he keep aside his all work for me and spend time with me. Something is wrong. Wine sighed at her own thoughts, but then her sweet smile appeared on her lips when her eyes fall onto her sister, who was feeding her husband, and he too was feeding her. So, Mr. Lee, well, I like your project, but what, Mr. John? I will only accept to work with you if you let me marry your daughter, Lee Wine, Jungkook said while having a cold face. Oh God, that's it. I willingly let you marry my daughter. After all, who will reject the top businessman's proposal for their daughter? He happily said, making Jungkook shrimp. Fine, and I will only sign the contract papers after our marriage. That will be tomorrow, Jungkook said, making Wine's dad surprised. Tomorrow, but Mr. John, isn't it too quick? First, I want to tell Wine, then arrange for everything. And he stopped when Jungkook cut him off by shouting, with the arrangement, it will be a simple marriage where me and Wine will just sign the paper and exchange rings. Okay, so he agreed because he doesn't want it to miss this golden opportunity, as Jungkook has a good gentleman image in public, as no one knows about Jungkook being a mafia, and also it will be good for his company. Bye, Uni, I will leave now. Appa Uma might be waiting for me, she said to her sister, whose face got dull after hearing Appa Uma word. Okay, she said in a broken voice, making Wine sadly sign as she understood Kia's feeling. Uni, don't lose hope. Appa will accept you back. You just go and talk to him. Yeah, I will soon talk to him, and let's hope he will forgive me. And you should leave. It's getting late. Yeah, bye. And say Oppa that I left. Yeah, thus the Wine left too. Vine stopped the car in front of her mansion, and she took her phone from passenger seat and checked her call history to see if Jungkook called her or not, but still he didn't call me, she sadly said, and thus she got out of the car. Vine walked into her house, and there she saw her dad sitting on the couch and seems to be deep in his thought. Appa, you still up? She called him, gaining his attention. And yeah, I was waiting for you. Oh, you got something important to discuss with me? If not, then can I go and take rest? I'm very tired, she said, as Jungkook, still not calling her nor a message from him, was making Vine's mood upset. Yeah, it's important. I fixed your marriage, she said directly, and Vine got all numb listening to it. Sorry, she asked her dad again, thinking she heard something wrong. Come on, Wine, you heard me. I arranged your marriage with John Jungkook, the top businessman. And after hearing this, Wine doesn't know how to react, as her mind got all blank. Jungkook, she asked him, not believing what she heard. Yes, Jungkook, be ready tomorrow morning, you are getting married. He said and walked towards his bedroom while smiling because he knew Wine and Jungkook dating and he was just playing with Wine and Jungkook. Am I dreaming? I'm gonna marry Cook, my. Yeah, she jumped in excitement, but then she realized something, so she stopped jumping. Wait, I think that's why Cook was avoiding me on morning, and also he didn't call me till this time, so has to give me surprise tomorrow. Oh, sorry, Cook, your surprise got spoiled, she said to herself and walked towards her bedroom in happiness and excitement. While waiting for Jungkook, Wine slept as she was too tired, and then the door opened, revealing Jungkook. Jungkook walked towards Wine and sat next to her lying figure, and he got lost in her baby innocent face. I still can't believe that you did with me, even after I saw it with my own eyes. But still, my heart is saying that it's not you. You can never do that to me, Jungkook said while lightly cherishing Wine's stick, and his eyes turned teary, remembering the bad memory of his. Jungkook called Wine for the nth time, but Wine wasn't picking up the call, making him nervous. Where this girl gone? He said while again trying to call Wine, but again the call disconnected. I should go and check on her. Saying this, he took his coat and car key and furiously walked out of the office. Jungkook reached Wine's apartment as he checked Wine's location on his pay, and he was about to ring the doorbell, but instead he noticed the door being slightly open, so he went inside the house. Love, he called her but got no response, so he again took his phone and called Wine, but he heard phone vibrating somewhere near him and he saw Wine's phone on the couch. Jungkook sighed, where did this girl gone without taking her phone and also without locking the. He paused when he heard some weird noises from one of the rooms, so he walked towards the room. Jungkook from what's the sound? He stood in front of that room and he noticed that the door was slightly open. So he was about to completely open the door, but what he saw made his eyes turn red in anger. His love walked with someone else. He clearly saw Wine, but he wasn't able to see the man's face as the man was above. Jungkook lost it and he just walked out of the room heartbroken, and thus he left to his basement where saw one of the captive men, so he started taking out his anger on him. Wine opened her eyes just to see herself in Jungkook's tight embrace, and she was lying on his chest. A sweet smile appeared on her lips, and she placed her chin over his chest and admired him. Wine smiled. I love you so much, Cook. Saying this, she gave a tight to him on his jawline, and then again she started admiring his sleeping face. But then she realized, wait, I am a wife now, so I should be a perfect wife for my Cook. Yeah, let's get started. Sleep well, my baby. Saying this, she gave a quick forehead to Jungkook and got out from bed and walked to bathroom to start her day. Jungkook don't know when he slept. All he remember is him thinking about that incident which made him hug Wine tightly as if she will run away from him, and unknowingly he slept in Wine's embrace. Jungkook opened his eyes and he frowned when he didn't felt Wine in his embrace, and an unknown fear rushed in him. So he stood up in a second and where did she gone? Saying this, he jerked off the blanket and walked to the bathroom to check on her. Jungkook entered the bathroom and a deep sigh left his mouth after he saw Wine in shower. So without thinking twice, he just walked into the shower and back hugged Wine, making her flinch at first as it was unexpected. But then she smiled and leaned more back into him, making her to stick with his and no gap in between them. You up? Had a good sleep? She asked him, but instead he started her shoulder to her neck, making her feel so good. Cook, not now. I have to prepare breakfast for you, she said, but at the same time she also tilted her head other side so as to give Jungkook more access to her neck. You sure, babe, your body is saying other way, he said in between her, and Wine blushed as how well he knows her and her bow. So yes, I want you, but she turned around and circled her arms around his neck, and Jungkook unknowingly circled his arm all around her and pulled her closer to him, making her. But I don't want you to be late for your work. I want to be a good wife for you, he said, while him giving the sweetest innocent smile of her, and that's it. Jungkook's heart skipped a bit, and thus he smashed his lips on her, and both shared a passionate. Freshen up and come downstairs. I will prepare breakfast for you, my bunny. Jungkook just happily nodded his head like a kid, making Wine smile, and Wine lastly gave a quick peek on his lips and walked out of the bathroom while wrapping a towel around her body. And Jungkook just kept admiring her, leaving the bathroom with a sweet smile. But as soon as Wine closed the door, Jungkook realized something, and the smile from his lip vanished. And I was supposed to take revenge on her. He reminded himself, but then soon stream. Okay, now just see John Wine, how I take revenge on you. After freshen up, Jungkook walked downstairs while deeply thinking how to take revenge on Wine. But then he came to reality when cooked just 5 minutes. Breakfast is almost ready. He looked at Wine and his all anger flew away and Jungkook smiled. It's okay, babe. Take your time. Don't rush, he said and walked towards Wine and back her and placed her chin on her shoulder and watch her cooking. You look so in my t-shirt, babe, he said and peeked Wine's cheek, making Wine chuckle. Cook, it's not the first time you are seeing me in your t-shirt, she said while continuing her work, but Jungkook tightened his hold on her and yes, but now I'm seeing my wife in my t-shirt. It's a different feeling, babe, he said while leaning to her ear and her earlobe, making Wine feel butterflies in her tummy. Ashko, come, let's have breakfast. Saying that she got out from Jungkook's hold and was about to get the food plate, but no, my queen, I will do it. Saying that he himself picked the food plate and walked to the dining table and arranged the food plate and sat down, and Wine followed him. Wine was about to sit on the chair next to Jungkook, but Jungkook pulled her towards him and she landed on his lap. Come on, babe, feed me. Wine smiled, sure, my baby. Wine took the spoon and started feeding him, and he to feed her with the same spoon, and thus they had their breakfast lovingly. Not this, not this. Here, Wine was selecting an outfit for Jungkook, who was again clingy to Wine. Yeah, this one. You will look good in this black outfit, she said, and turned around to give the outfit to Jungkook. Fine, as my queen says. He took the outfit from Wine and started wearing it in front of her itself. So how I am looking? He asked Wine after completely wearing the outfit, who was rolling over his handsomeness. Handsome, and now I'm thinking I shouldn't have got this outfit for you, she said with a cute port, making Jungkook chuckle, knowing his wife is jealous. John Wine, this John Jungkook is only yours. Saying this, he leaned forward and her forehead so as to assure her, and I know. She hugged him and he too hugged her, and thus they stayed like that for a few minutes. Bye, Cook, I will miss you. And now she was clingy to him as he was about to leave from his company. Jungkook smiled, I will miss you more. Just lock the door and don't open the door for anyone. And also just call me if anything happens or if you need anything. I will just come to you within a second. Wine smiled. Okay, my bunny, she said while looking up at him, still in his embrace with his arms around her. I love you, Wine, he said, and her forehead. I love you more, Cook. Saying this, she peeked his lips. I should leave now. Wine just nodded her head, and thus he gave her a forehead, and she pulled back from hug, and Jungkook walked out of the house, and Wine kept watching him leaving the house. After Jungkook completely left her side, she left to do her household chores. Jungkook coldly walked into his office, and he harshly kicked the couch as to take his anger. Why can't I take revenge on her? Every time I see her, my anger flew away and I forget what she did with me. And more above my heart and body, more above my soul, just crave for her. He again harshly kicked the couch, and at the same time, his phone rang. So he took his phone from the pocket and saw its Wine. So he took the call. Cook, I called to tell you that I will bring lunch for you, so don't order your lunch, okay? Again, her sweet voice made Jungkook forget everything, and babe, bring lunch for you too. We will have it together, he unknowingly said to Wine, and sure, Cook. Okay, bye, babe. Come fast, I will wait for you. Okay, saying this, they both cut the call. And I should get my morning work done before my babe come with lunch, he happily said to himself and walked towards his chair and sat down and started working. Cook, she shouted while entering into his office, and there she saw him talking with a man, gaining both of their attention, and a wide smile appear on Jungkook's lip after saying Wine. Oops, I think I disturbed you guys, she said while standing near the door. No, babe. Jungkook got up from the chair and walked towards Wine and took her lunch bag from her and hold her wrist and walked towards the couch and made Wine sit on the couch, and he placed the lunch bag on tea table and sat next to Wine. Just wait for 5 minutes, babe, then we will have lunch, okay? Take your time, Cook, I will wait. Jungkook smiled at Wine and peeked her forehead, and then he looked at the man who was already admiring the young couple and Mr. Kim, please take a seat over here, he said while pointing to a opposite couch of him, and sure, Mr. John. He walked towards the couch and sat in front of Jungkook. You can continue talking about your plan, Mr. Kim. Thus he started his paused conversation. Meanwhile, Wine just took her phone to use it, and Jungkook just listened to Mr. Kim while lightly cherishing. How is it? You like it? She asked him after feeding him the first bite of the food she prepared for him. Of course, good babe. How come I won't love your cooking? He said while munching his food, making Wine smile in happy and satisfaction. Okay, then let's finish this before it's get cold. Yeah, here, he said while bringing a spoonful of rice near Wine's lip, and she happily opened her mouth, and Jungkook fed her, and thus they happily had their lunch too. Babe, don't go. Sit here. We will leave together after my work is done, he said because he felt like he wanted wine in front of his eyes. Okay, as you say, cook. And she too happily accepted as she too wanted to be with him. Thus Jungkook made Wine sit on the couch from his lap and he walked to his chair and continued working while occasionally taking a glance at Wine who again was using her phone, and she too occasionally took a glance at Jungkook who just focused on his work looking. They both came back from company, had a shower together, and then Jungkook insisted to order food as he don't want Wine to work more, and thus they had their dinner while watching K-drama, and thus ended up sleeping on the couch in each other's embrace, cuddled up in a blanket. Jungkook was having a small break while going through his phone, but he happened to see something related to cheating, making him again remember those unwanted memories. But this time he didn't got angry. Instead, he started thinking deeply. I'm sure it's not Wine. My love can never do that with me. I made a mistake. I should have asked her about the situation instead of acting reckless and fix the marriage. Yeah, I should talk to her before it's get more worse. Saying this, he took his car key and ran out of the company to talk to Wine and clear his misunderstanding or confusion. Jungkook entered the house, but the house was pin drop silence. Wine, where are you? He called her, but got no response. So he started checking the possible place where Wine might be, but didn't find her. So this girl, he took his phone and was about to call Wine, but instead he saw a message from Wine. So without thinking much, he opened the message. Cook, I might be a little late to get you lunch as I'm going to my house first and then I will come to you. So please don't get worried. I will try to come on time. Love you, Cook. And I didn't call you because I thought you might be busy. See you soon, Cook. After reading the message, Jungkook took a deep breath of relax, but then I should go to her. I'm missing her. Saying this, he ran out of the house. Jungkook rang the doorbell of Wine's house and oh, son, come in. She greeted him and Jungkook walked inside, but his eyes were roaming here and there to see Wine. But oh, Jungkook, what a surprise. Where is Wine? He asked while walking down the stair, making Jungkook frown. What do you mean by where is Wine? She told me she is coming here, so I came for her. No, she isn't here, but she told me she is going to her house. Oh, that means she is in her apartment. Oh, okay, then I will go to her. Jungkook was about to leave, but Wine's mom stopped him. Son, wait, we will also come. We all will have lunch together as it's the first time you come to our house after marriage. She insisted, and Jungkook just simply nodded his head and he walked out of the house to his car. And Wine's parent to walk out and get into his car and everyone drive off. Jungkook don't know why he was having a very bad feeling, and soon he pulled the brake when he reached Wine's apartment. Why my heart is beating fast, calm down, he said while cherishing his chest right above his heart and took a deep breath and walked out of the car to Wine's apartment. Jungkook was about to ring the calling bell, but he saw the door was already open and it bring him the memory of the past week where he saw the worst scene of his life and again the same thing was happening. Jungkook opened the door and walked inside the house. The house was silent and there he heard jiggling of couples which made his eyes turn red and he fisted his palm. Today I will definitely that man, and Wine just see if it's you then no one can save you this time, not even Allah. He angrily said and walked towards the sound and he soon opened the door of the room from where the sound is coming and there he saw a man back hugging a girl. That's it. Stay away from my girl, you, he shouted and rushed to the couple who got surprised after seeing an unknown man and Jungkook just grabbed the collar of the man and started him without any mercy. Today I will. How dare you touch my girl, my wife? Saying this, he pushed the man, making him fall on the floor, and he took his and pointed it on the man who was now in fear with nose and lips and cheeks too. Stop. Are you bound mad or what? How dare you touch my husband? She came in front of Jungkook so as to protect her husband, and at that time Jungkook noticed Kia. She was different. Even though she looks like Wine, her eyes are different and even her voice was different too. Jungkook frowned. You? He was confused, but he came to reality when he heard the familiar sweet voice and Jungkook turned around to see his wife with a baby in her hand and the fall from his hand, and he kept looking between Wine and Kia with his eyes wide open and wide open mouths too. Kia, you, everyone then turned to see Wine's parents, who were surprised to see their daughter after a whole 1 year. Kia, when did you came last week, Oma? Then why you didn't came to us, Appa? That I was scared. Every day I decide that today I will come to you, but again just hold back thinking you might get angry on me. So, yes, we were angry on you for running away. You should have talked to us. We should have let you marry him, he said, making Kia and Jack look up at Vine's parent with surprised eyes as all the time their head were down. Really? Yeah, did we ever say no to you both? Kia shook her head as no. Then why would we say no when you find your true love? He said, making Kia burst out crying, and Vine's mom hugged her. It's okay, she patted her back to calm down. Thanks, Amma, Appa, for accepting us. Thanks, sir. I will always keep your daughter happy. You should. And stop calling me so. You can call that when we are in company. Rest all the time. You can call me Appa, he said, making Jack and Kia again surprised. That means I can start working in your company. Of course. Why would I lose such a brilliant worker? Thanks, Appa. And thus they all reunited. But what? That means you married me for revenge, as you thought it was me? She asked Jungkook, who just told her everything, as how he come searching for Wine and saw Kia out with her husband, and he thought it's Wine because he only had a side view of Kia which was similar to of Wine. I'm sorry, babe. Yeah, I married you to take revenge, but I wasn't able to take revenge on you because every time I saw you, my heart and soul only wanted to love you, he said, and Wine agreed because he treated her with love. The only mistake I done is arranging our marriage without your consent and also quickly without talking to you or clearing the situation. I'm sorry, babe. Please forgive me for that, he said while holding Wine's palm in his, but Wine just jerked his hand and walked out of the room and baby, wait, I'm sorry, he shouted, but Wine didn't stop walking, leaving Jungkook with no other option but to follow her. Wine's parents and Kia and Jack were happily talking while playing with their grandchild, but then everyone's smile dropped when baby wait. He grabbed Wine's wrist from behind and turned her around. Don't talk to me, Jungkook. Saying this, she again jerked his hand and walked out of the house. He too followed her, leaving rest of them confused. What happened between them? Don't know. They all kept looking at the door from where Jungkook and Wine left. Maybe listen to me. And thus lastly Wine stopped and faced Jungkook. What's more to listen, Jungkook? You didn't trusted me. You married me to take revenge. A drop of tear left from her eyes, making Jungkook's heart ache, and he closed the gap between them and cupped her cheeks and wiped her tears. I'm sorry, just think from my poor baby. I wasn't knowing you got a twin sister. You never told me about it. Jungkook stopped as One cutted him off. What? How many times I tried to tell you, but you cut me off saying this, baby, don't bring our family in between. Let's plan of making our own family, she said, making Jungkook's fine, as she is right though, because Jungkook was least interested in Wine's family, as all he wanted was just Wine. Jungkook sighed, I'm sorry, please forgive me, please, I'm begging you, please. A drop of tear left from his eyes too, making Wine's heart ache, so she pulled Jungkook by his collar and smashed her lips on his, and he too happily her back. Wine forgave him as by thinking from Jungkook's point he isn't wrong, though, and also he didn't hurt her, instead he only loved her more. What if he broke up with her thinking that it was Wine in place of Kia? No way, Wine can't even think of breaking up with him, so by thinking that only Wine just pulled Jungkook more into her and deepened the as she don't want Jungkook to leave her, and Jungkook to deepen the as he was enjoying the, which made him pick him Wine in his arms and walk towards a bedroom. Jungkook placed Wine on the bed and broke them, and without talking, he bent down on his knees and took off Wine's heel and got up from his knees and removed his coat and shirt and lastly his shoes and socks too, while deeply staring at Wine's eyes, who was just watching him doing all this with a puppy eyes, and then he leaned towards Wine and her forehead. Let's take a nap. Wine just nodded her head, and thus he made Wine lay on bed, and he too joined her on bed and covered both of them with blanket, and then lastly made Wine lay on his chest and hugged her tightly, and both cuddled to sleep. Jungkook opened his eyes when he felt Wine's hug on him loose, and she slept, so he slowly got his phone from his pants pocket and dialed a number who immediately took his call. "Mark, I need you to arrange something," he said while he himself was having a sweet smile thinking what he is up to. "Cook, where are you taking me?" she asked while keeping her hands on hers as he has blindfolded her and taking her somewhere. "Just a minute, babe, you will soon know." Wine sensed the car stop, and then Jungkook got out of the car and walked towards Wine's side and opened the door and held her wrist and helped her to get out of the car. "Cook," she gasped when she felt being lifted up in his arm, and she securely wrapped her hands around his neck. "Yes, babe, relax, nothing will happen to you when I am with you." Wine smiled at his word as he is right though. Soon Jungkook made Wine stand on her feet and he slowly opened her blindfold, making her surprised. "Cook," she turned around to see Jungkook on his knees with a ring in his hand. Jungkook smiled. "Will you marry me, Mrs. John?" he proposed her, making Wine chuckle with tear in his eyes. "We are already married, Cook." "Yes, we are, but that's a different thing, and this is what we planned, right? So, Mrs. John, will you be mine?" He proposed Wine, and Wine nodded her head as yes, and kneeled down to Jungkook's level. "I'm always yours, Mr. John." She forwarded her hand, and thus Jungkook put the ring on her ring finger, where already there is her wedding ring. Jungkook smiled. "I love you, babe." Wine smiled. "I love you more," and thus they both leaned forward and each other. Wine walked down the aisle holding her dad's hand while blushing, and there her eyes fall on Jungkook, who was already admiring her with a wide smile. "And soon, take care of my daughter," he said while giving Wine's hand to him, which he happily took in his palm. "And I will," he said while his eyes were fixed on Wine, who was also admiring Jungkook. And soon Wine's dad left to his wife and Jungkook's parent and Kia and Jack. "I love you so much," he said while pulling Wine closer to her, and "I love you more, but don't cry, Cook," she said while wiping his tear, and then peeked his lip, to which Jungkook just nodded his head. "You may," the bride. Thus Jungkook circled his arm around Wine's and pulled her up and her, which she happily replied back. "I love you, John Wine. I love you more." And then they faced the priest when they heard. So now the last ritual, the bride has to throw the bouquet. "Okay," she said while blushing and looked at Jungkook. "Go on," he said, and thus Wine walked towards her sister and forwarded the bouquet to her, taking her off guard. "What's this, Wine? You are getting married to Jack Oppa next week," she said, making Jack and Kia surprised, and they looked at each other with wide eyes. And "Yeah, I arranged everything for you both. Just take it as a sorry from me as I." "Jack hung," he said while approaching them and stood next to Wine and hold her. "Oh, thanks for that, but," he looked at Wine's parent. "We all agreed and your parents are coming tomorrow," he assured Jack as he got what Jack is thinking. "Thanks a lot." "Thank you so much." She took the bouquet from Wine's hand, and thus everyone started congratulating both Wine and Jungkook and also Kia and Jack too. "Babe, come, let's go to her house," he suddenly said to Wine, making her confused. "What now? The guests are still here, Cook." "Oh, come on, babe. My and your parents will manage the guests, but for now we have to do our pending first night," he said, making Wine blush, and before she can even react, Jungkook just carried her in bridal style and walked towards his car, and Wine just let him be because they haven't done it in a week. "I love you, John Wine," he said while still walking towards its car, and "I love you more, Cook." Saying this, she started her snake, making Jungkook smile more like shrimp, knowing his wife is impatient to have him. The end. Thanks for watching. Bye.